I am bound to them, though I cannot look into their eyes or hear their voices. I honor their history. I cherish their lives. I will tell their story. I will remember them. Although the author of this quote is unknown, this person captured the connection we have to our ancestors. Ancestry is so important because I am only one leaf on my family tree. Doing this project has given me a chance to learn more about my family history. And then I realized that on my maternal side, my great-grandparents are deceased, and my grandmother grew up in foster care from the time she was young and knows very little about our family history. Luckily, my paternal side of my family knew more information about our history, so I focused more on that side of the family. This chart shows the percentages of my ethnicities. It was compiled by Ancestry.com. I was surprised by the answers in this chart because I knew I was Portuguese, French, and Irish as told to me by my grandparents, but I was not expecting to see percentages from Spain, Norway, and Nigeria. I find this very interesting and I wish I knew more. This just goes to prove that there's a lot more to your family history than you may know, and how members of your family tree might be more diverse than you originally thought. To find out more, I interviewed my great aunt on my father's side. Here are some of the questions I asked her. What do you know about our family ancestry? Do you have any idea when they first came to America, and where from? What were some of the major events that were occurring in the United States and the world at this time? How do you think these events affected your ancestors and your family? What else can you add about our family history? And this is what she replied with.
Let me begin by telling you that my mother, Irene Levesque, formerly Barnaby, who was your great-grandmother, was born in Fall River in 1921. Her birth father, Adrian Barnaby, married Clorinda Joden in 1916. Adrian passed away when Irene was only an infant, and Clorinda married her brother, Jean-Baptiste Barnaby. Interestingly, in addition to Jean-Baptiste becoming Irene's stepfather, he was also her uncle and godfather. Irene and Eli were the only two biological children of Adrian. Clorinda and Jean-Baptiste added another 6 siblings to their family. Irene was married to Robert Levesque, my father, but they divorced, so I have little information about my paternal family other than connections with some cousins. Our family came from Quebec, Canada in the 1800s, where they worked in the mills as most immigrants did. In Canada, they were fur trappers who eventually followed the trade to Maine. One of the major events in the 1800s was the discovery of the laws of electricity and magnetism. Also, 828,000 square miles of land was purchased from Napoleon, leader of France, by Thomas Jefferson in 1803. I think the introduction of electricity to our ancestors must have been amazing.
Knowing my family's links to other countries and ethnicities makes me appreciate the diversity in our country. I personally feel as though my place is minor. To others, I do not appear as diverse. However, we all have histories we carry with us that stem from the time of colonization. I play a role in trying to disrupt some of the history that marginalize different races and ethnicities and keep it from happening again. I benefit from the diverse cultures around me. I enjoy food, music, traditions, and other things shared from various cultures. It is my responsibility to help preserve the diversity in our country. I believe that diversity is a positive thing and necessary for a country to thrive, so I support the growth of diversity in America. The United States has long been a melting pot, and the result is a blend of rich cultural influences that we celebrate. Diversity makes our country special and welcoming to travelers, visitors, and refugees from all over the world, since no matter what culture or ethnicity they are, they can always find some opportunity that suits them in the U.S. This graph shows the diversity in Texas's population in the year 2020 and what is predicted for the years 2040 and 2060. This section shows the total population in Texas, and the light green represents the white population, and this teal blue represents the Hispanic population. In the year 2020, the white population is 59.7%, while Hispanic is 18.7%. As predicted into the year 2060, it shows that the white population will decrease to 44.3%, while the Hispanic population will increase to 27.5%. Now, if Texas alone has such a diverse population, then the whole country must be diverse as well. So let's take a look at this chart of the U.S. This one shows the diversity in the U.S. population in the year 2018 and what is predicted for 2060 as well. This chart shows that the country will almost evenly be split with each race by the year 2060. And already since 2018, the country has been growing in that direction as predicted. The population of the people who are white will drop from 60.5% to 44.3% over the years. The population of the Hispanic race will increase from 18.3% to 27.5%, which is exactly what we saw in Texas's population as well over the years. So these two charts of both Texas and the United States show the growing diversity in the U.S. Our small community of Freetown Lakeville does not really represent the diversity present in our country. Looking at the data I found on towncharts.com, there is a comparison of the racial makeup between the country, the state, and our local towns. As shown in the dark blue, Freetown and Lakeville have a higher percentages of whites. But on this side, if you look at the United States and Massachusetts, there's more of an area of the different shades of blue, which represent the different ethnicities and races in our country. However, I do feel as though our town provides opportunities for people of different cultures, as well as including those of different races and ethnicities. Our high school has limited diversity, but I believe that most of our students in our school and district understand and have learned about that diversity in our country. Our community and school district can always do more for those who are diverse, like providing specific opportunities for cultural enrichments, celebrating our differences, and teaching more about culture and race that extends beyond a few famous people or holidays. There's more to learn about our own histories and traditions. There are people from different ethnicities who may not be famous, but have contributed to our society in some amazing ways. Intentions are good, but we can all do better. My generation has grown up in a country that is very diverse and can easily accept and support those who are diverse. And we can sometimes become oblivious to the fact that our country hasn't always been this way. My grandparents' generation grew up in a country where diversity was starting to grow, and many people in their generation had to learn to adjust to change and welcome the new cultures. My great-grandparents' generation knew about the growing diversity, and some have even been a part of it by immigrating to America. However, now there are many different ethnicities and cultures and ways of being diverse in our country that some of the older generations still struggle to understand and accept the change. Past generations have taken part in and seen the start of the growth of diversity, and generations now and to come will not only follow the growth of diversity, but support it. As U.S. citizens, we all share a love for our country and a feeling of pride and nationalism toward the place we live. We celebrate the birth of our country, we rise and sing the national anthem, display our flags, and wear the colors that represent our nation. Although we all have things in common, there are many topics that divide the nation. Politics divide the nation by the support of different parties and candidates, especially when it comes time for the presidential elections. Also, the amount of money one has, or the job someone has, can split the nation, with advantages and luxuries given to those of a higher status, rather than others who may need it more. Debates over privilege, power, and race can divide the nation, as seen this year with the Black Lives Matter movement and the protests that occurred. People feeling marginalized in their society can cause a division, which is exactly what happened this year. If people learn to have an open mind, then major problems and situations can be avoided. If everyone learned to accept people for who they are and who they want to be, then our country would be closer to becoming equal than before. Everyone is unique and believes in different things, so with an open mind, you can express your own beliefs and encourage others to express theirs, even if you disagree. Be open to the changes and growing diversity in our nation. Grow from the conversations and experiences that make us all unique. This class is important to me because I want to learn more about the history of our country and the brilliant and brave minds that helped us get to where we are now. I want to study the different ups and downs our country has gone through and hear more about the various perspectives people might have on the topics we will cover in class. I want to keep an open mind while listening to the topics and situations that my peers might bring up in class or debate over. I'm taking this class to learn more than just my view inside of the story and history of our country. This class will allow me to better understand the viewpoints of others around me and the countries that make up our world. Learning and studying these topics will help me in the future as well when it comes to looking for a job and working with others. Knowing about my country and how it fits into the world we live in will help me better understand the choices that were made and the choices that need to be made in the future to help our country thrive. Our generation is the future of America, and by taking this class, we will be ready to take on any challenges that come our way and make our country a better place. To sum it up, we have learned from our ancestors, we have been made from their history, and the youth today are a generation of change who will add a new positive addition to our country's history.